Oh my goodness, folks. Well, again, Alex Mandarino, your host of Road Trip to Primetown. I'm still in this hangar. I know my call with Jay a little while ago kind of calmed me down. I finally was able to find a gentleman who's going to help me out. It does look like one of these planes is available and upcoming for me. So we've relaxed. I mean, with this hat, it's got to work magic. How do you not notice this thing? It doesn't look like there's anyone else in here. Maybe it's my fault, but in any case, it is the road trip to Primetown. And before I get into this vehicle, this airplane to kind of take me the place that I want to go, Primetown 2022, June 2nd to 4th, 2022, second annual one, in case you weren't aware. I'm going to talk to a good friend, Rami Shami, and just kind of want to check in on him before we hop into this plane and get going, because he has a wealth of knowledge to bring. He's got three separate sessions, one for parents and guardians, one for young adults, and one for everybody, the whole wealth of you coming. And I'm really pumped to chat with him because he's a very interesting character, very, very positive and knowledgeable. And he's going to bring advanced care planning to the table, discuss a little bit about that, as well as trauma informed mindfulness. And mindfulness is obviously something we all strive to kind of employ as much as possible, whether it's in everyday life or not. But I mean, Rami's a great guy. I'm just going to do a quick video call with him, check in on him, and then hopefully we'll be in one of these bad boys the next time we speak. So folks, I appreciate you sticking with me and enjoy the ride. All right, folks, as you can see, I have yet to pick my method of transportation. So I'm calling a few guests here to just kind of get people pointing me in the right direction. And also, I mean, Primetown's in about a week and a half, and we want to get people fired up for it. So I'm here with Rami Shami, case manager and hospice palliative care consultant with Kensington Hospice. We chatted just before we kind of got things kicking off. Great guy, and I want to get right into things. So Rami, appreciate you kind of jumping on this call with me. Now, I want to start things off by asking sort of a simple question, but some people really dig deep. What are three words you'd use to describe yourself?
You know, Alex, it was really funny because I was practicing those words with my kid, and the three words it came up with, she said, "Daddy, you forget caring." It's like
I like it.
my 10-year-old. I just say energetic, creative, and passionate.
Yeah, I like it. Those are solid. And we'll just throw a little 3.5 in caring. I want to give
Well said,
her
Alex.
sort of
Well
credit.
said.
I love it. I love it. And so we were talking, and I mean, you have this, and you can tell just based off bio and just brief conversation, you have this deep passion for hospice palliative care, which a lot of people might not know a lot about, or might think like, who would have a lot of passion for that? But what kind of led you to this passion enough to focus on it, A, as a career, but B, also to be willing to speak about it and host sessions with it?
You know, I'm very fortunate and very grateful to have been in this field for 33 years. I came on across it by happen chance. I was in pre-med in university as 19 years old, full of spit and vinegar, and all of a sudden I wanted to donate my time so that I could get into medical school. And I saw this newspaper article in the Mississauga News, and it said, "Do you want to sit with the terminally ill?" And that's how we addressed them back then, is the terminally ill, which has changed a lot in 33 years. And I said, absolutely. And it just right in that moment, Alex, I felt drawn to it. Like it's almost as if I came across something that resonated so deeply beyond my conscious mind that I would be doing this the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I spent 19 years as a volunteer, and the rest has been history: consulting, teaching, traveling. What an incredible life, honestly.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, and I love to hear it. I mean, like I said earlier, you don't hear a lot of people that might know either what hospice care is and kind of what that world is. And so I'm sure obviously this, in the coming weeks, we'll learn a little bit more about it from you directly. And what better person to learn but someone who has a passion. And so speaking of that, I mean, looking at the Primetown website, there's three separate sessions you're hosting. And I know it's for different groups and demographics, but what can different attendees to Primetown expect to learn from your three sessions that involve the trauma and advanced care planning?
Trauma-informed care, trauma-informed approaches to care is really my bread and butter. I've been advocating to bring this domain of service that is truly person-centered to all aspects of hospice palliative care. And hospice palliative care is an encompassing service of caring for people who have a progressive life-limiting illness, people who are bereaved, people who are caregiving at any stage of an illness from the time of diagnosis. So what I'm hoping to share with participants is the trauma-informed approach as it relates specifically to mindfulness, because in mindfulness, it's very catchy, new age, kind of dynamic,
Yeah.
but there can be a lot that can arise when someone's being mindful. And that's very powerful in hospice palliative care, especially in end of life. And in that arising of emotions, there can be aspects of re-traumatization or unconscious aspects of traumatization. And to have this approach called a trauma-informed approach, which has principles involved in terms of trustworthiness and choice and cultural humility and empowerment and safety, to apply those to mindfulness is an important aspect of being person-centered. And then advanced care planning is very prominent nowadays. To plan for a time where you can't make your own decisions about your own health is incredibly empowering. However, the discussion, Alex, to get to what you might want when you're not able to make capacity-driven choices is to talk about death, to talk about loss, to talk about deterioration of our bodies and decline of our capacity and functionality. And that in and of itself can arise feelings of, disempowerment, fear, anxiety, anticipatory loss, and it could be traumatizing or re-traumatizing. So I'm really excited to bring those, especially from, a demographic of individuals that might be, attending the summit, to bring this awareness to them at this stage of their lives, in this stage of their age demographic.
Absolutely. And I think there's obviously a lot to dive into there. So I'm appreciative you kind of give us that surface level overview. Mindfulness is something I know I practice as often as possible. And so I love how you're kind of bringing those concepts together. I'm pumped to see what the conversation's like. And so I am going to completely switch topics and throw a curveball at you for my final question, Rami. And if you could pick a theme song for yourself, let's say you're walking down the street, what song would that be if you have one in mind?
Without a hesitation, Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
I love it.
My work is a lot of the journey through a progressive life-limiting illness and death and bereavement. So for me, it's a perspective of the journey. And then Don't Stop Believing, it's a very powerful theme. Don't stop believing in the power of compassion. Don't stop believing in the power of presence, in the power of, empathy. Don't stop believing in the power of a trauma-informed approach.
Yeah, I love it. There's not much else I could say to that. That is a mic drop if I've ever heard one. And not obviously it's a universal song. So I don't think you can go wrong. So Rami, I appreciate you jumping on with me. I know there's 3 separate sessions and I'm sure a lot of people will learn a lot. So we'll chat soon and thanks again.
I'm excited. Thank you.
You got it.